Alright, so it's part 2 of the 240Z rebuild, and today we've got Krill behind the camera. He's torn his ACL and he had surgery, but he was like, let me film for you, so I'm not putting the half crippled person to work. This is his choice. Thank you, Krill. But let's move over here. We have the L series out of the 240Z. Now, I love this engine. Like, the L series Straight Six is a beautiful engine to me. It makes sense to me, and I don't think it's shown as much love as it should in comparison to like the RBs and the 2Js. But without further ado, let's just get into this engine, tear it down, fully rebuild it, get it running better than it ever has been, and then next episode we'll get it back in the Datsun, running, driving, and we can finally enjoy it. Let's just crack on. Alright, so I don't really have a plan on how we're going to do this. I know I want to take off the head, take off my sum, check the actual bottom end of this engine. So I think first, cam cover off, head off, and we'll just take it from there. Right, so that is cam cover off. Kirill. Anyway, we got oil sprayer bar to take off so we can actually get to the head bolt. So it's 1, 2, 3 10 mils, and then I think like 10, maybe 12 head bolts. And then of course, we have the infamous 2 little 10 mils here. If you do not remember to take those off and you try to pull your head, you'll literally just snap it, and then your engine's pretty much toast. So let's remember to take those off. I've already taken one out. What did you say, Krill?
I said no head.
So no head?
No head, yeah.
Alright, let's razz those off, razz the head bolts off, and get the head off. Lucky. Boom. Little bolt. Okay, so usually if you're doing this and you want to like keep your timing in time, don't let this just drop like that, because that would be bad. You usually get a timing chain, tension a tool, but because we're replacing this whole cam gear and the actual chain itself, we can just let it de-time itself. So these are ARP head studs. Usually they'll come out as like a full bolt if you have stock head studs, but like I said, ARP head studs. These apparently you can reuse. Now this car's not even done 100 miles since we actually put them in, so I probably will reuse these, and I don't think it will be an issue, to be fair. I guess if we have a problem, I'll let you know, but I genuinely don't foresee us having an issue. So I'm just gonna get them all out, and then we'll pull off the head. That one I was a bit worried about. Yeah, it's a really head gasket.
What was it causing, to be fair, for you to change it?
I did a head rebuild, so I have to
make sure.
Look at that, bro. It's literally stuck on there.
Yeah.
Well, that is the worst head gasket I've ever seen. Why the f is it like stuck like sh**? We have to clean all of this up again. It's going to be a long job, that is. But yeah, head is off. Hello, Kirill. That is the head off. Let's quickly have a look at it. We aren't going to do a full rebuild on the head because it was done not long ago. I might clean it up and stuff. Nothing too major. Nothing crazy about it. Obviously, just standard L24 head. I think in the last video I talked about like E88 heads and P90 heads. I believe the E88 head is like a good head, so we're just going to keep this one for now. If we move over to the engine block itself, look at this, bro. This was the old head gasket. I pulled it off and this is what's left, so we're going to have to clean this up heavily. I don't know why the f it's so bad, but that's dire, bro. That's actually the worst head gasket I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not too sure why that is the case. This is from a engine rebuild kit that come with the car when I got it. So maybe that's why, maybe it was just a dodgy head gasket. But it's not going to be fun to clean up. But let's get the sump off. I don't really know what we're going to see, but let's just get it off because I'm interested. Oh yeah, we've got to pull off this whole front cover. All these little bits and bobs here, the water pump, the crank pulley, stuff like that. And then we can do the timing chain kit, fully rebuild it. Then we can get it back in the car. So I've never turned this engine around, this engine stand with an engine on it before, so this is a first for me. Chains obviously get to droop down. This should hopefully. Oh, that's a lot of coolant. I didn't think. I completely forgot about the coolant. Well, give me 1 second. No, I'm glad we filmed that. I'm glad we filmed that, Crow, because that was quite funny. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Nice and juicy. Oh my god. Yeah, I really didn't think about that, did I? We'll be back when the engine is upside down. I did not think that through. So we've removed all the bolts from the sump, but this is fucking stuck on there. So we will be back once it's off. I don't know when the last time someone removed this sump was, but it's going to take a whole lot of effort and a whole lot of tapping with a hammer and a chisel, essentially. Also, this is a big dent. Ignore that. We're gonna bang that out afterwards, and it will be fine. So we'll be back once we've got this off. It is almost off. Look at that. It's coming off nice. One over here maybe. Oh, a few more taps over this side. Oh, that's a nice noise. I think we should be able to. Ready for the big reveal, Crow. It's the first time I've ever seen the bottom end of this engine, so we'll see. That is very black. There's nothing wrong with that, just to say, but yeah, nice. Oil pickup. That's just gasket, I think. Oh, that's metal. Only a tiny, tiny bit of metal. Oh, maybe a bit more metal. Tiny bit more metal. You know what? If this is the first time it's been off in ages, that's fine, because at the end of the day, at least there's no like massive metal chunks, you know what I mean? So look at our rods. I can't rotate it right now because I've got the chain like weirdly. But I think that's where we're going to leave today. So we're going to cut to tomorrow. I don't think Crow will be here, sadly. So all the amazing camera work that he's been doing. Crow, you can show yourself on the camera if you'd like.
Good. Hang on. How do you
flip the camera? Yeah, just open that and then flip it.
Hello, dear. Hello, dear.
Well, thank you, Crow, for your amazing outro. We'll come back tomorrow, take off like the timing cover, the oil pump, all of this good stuff, expose the rest of the timing chain and stuff like that, and then we can actually do the timing chain kit. Day 2, what we're going to do is we're going to first take off the oil pickup. It's only 2 bolts. Once we've done that, we're going to turn the engine the right way around and then work on getting the timing cover off, which is pretty simple. It's crank bolt, crank pulley, another pulley, and then just all the bolts that hold in the timing cover, and that will pretty much expose the whole timing chain kit and everything that we'll be replacing. Oil pickup off, 2 bolts, little gasket. the engine's the right way up, and this is what we're going to work on taking off. It's the actual front timing cover. This has been off multiple times. Obviously I did a water pump not too long ago, even replaced the front seal on the timing cover, but it's pretty simple. It's literally these couple bolts here to take off this pulley, obviously the main crank bolt to take off the crank pulley. Once we got that off, it's all the water pump bolts and the timing cover bolts themselves, which are some of the water pump bolts. Another thing on these L series engines is this oil pump. Now this oil pump is actually like got a gear on it, and that connects to the actual distributor up here. I don't know if you can see it there. So when we put this in, I'll explain how you need to put it in to ensure that your actual engine will be timed correctly. Because if you put that in the wrong way, your distributor is going to be out, and then your timing is going to be out, and it's all just a bit weird. It is super simple once you understand how it works, but we'll go through that when we actually do the timing. Alright, so that is the fan clutch thing off. Obviously that exposes this water pump. We're going to take off the oil pump next, and then the crank pulley, and then we can take off the timing cover. So this is the oil pump, and obviously it's gear driven. That's the gear that attaches like up here, and then obviously this goes to the distributor itself here. But when I turn this gear, it pumps the oil. It's quite cool, to be fair. An upgrade that a lot of people do for these engines is they put a 280ZX turbo oil pump in. Now I haven't found one online yet. I am looking for one. It's just a good upgrade. I think it adds a little bit more oil pressure, obviously because they're made for the turbo cars. Doesn't really do much, like you will get away perfectly fine using this, but you know, it's always good to have more oil pressure. Alright, so there you go, that is everything off. Now we're going to work on getting off all the timing chain, the actual tensioner, and all of that stuff, expose the rest of it, and then we can clean everything up, put in the new timing chain kit, and then we can start building back up the engine, ready to go back in the car. Okay, so off camera I did a bit of work. It is a new day now. I painted a few things. I cleaned off every single surface which had like residue gasket on. I'll show you the stuff I painted, and now it's finally time to fully assemble the engine. To start with, I painted some stuff on the block, obviously cleaned up the whole surface so it's all smooth now. This is in top dead center, but we will double check it before we actually go in and install the head. I cleaned up the bottom of the head surface there. I cleaned up the sump. I also painted this sump. I painted our balancer. Painted the thing that actually tells us like the time of the engine. And finally, I also painted our timing cover itself. So let's just get into it, start assembling stuff. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna double check that this engine is actually top dead center. What we're gonna do is temporarily place the timing cover on it, put the balancer on and the timing indicator, and check where our balancer is in comparison to that. As long as it's on the 0, we know we're top dead center. Then what we can do, head gasket, head, and from there we have our brand new timing chain, cam gear, tensioner, and timing chain guides. Put the balancer on, put the timing indicator on. Because I freshly painted this, I put a new marking on it, and it's supposed to be lined up with the 0. It was here, so I rotated it a tiny bit and it went just past. So we're literally just gonna rotate it all the way around a few more times. Wait, where's the mark? Oh, it's not there yet, there it is. Obviously, everything's moving at the top. And we just gotta get this. I'm gonna put the camera down so I can line it up perfectly. And then once it's on 0, we'll take all this off, take the timing cover off, get the head on, do the timing chain, and then we can build it back up. Alright, so it's a new day. I wasn't happy with how clean the top of the block was and how clean the head was, but it's all clean now. We've got the head gasket, we're gonna pop it on. Boom, head gasket on, dowels aligned. We're gonna grab the head, snap the head on, make sure that the head's still in time, then we can move on to the timing stuff and get this fully built up. Is the head on. Now we're going to take off this old cam sprocket here, put on the new one, get all the head bolts in, get everything torqued down fully, and then we can move on to all the timing stuff. I've got all the cylinder head bolts in and I've got all the nuts on top. Now it's time to go torque them down. Do it in 3 stages, 25, 50, and then like 61 to finish off. I'm gonna run through, do them all. Alright, so that is the head fully torqued down to spec the right way. Now we can work on the actual time and stuff, which is why we actually pulled the engine. Let's get this cam gear off camera. I marked up the timing chain. It comes unmarked. Sometimes they come marked, but if not, essentially you want to mark 1 link, then count 42 links around, and then mark the link after that, which is what I have done here. So let's just crack on, get it all installed, and I can explain how you actually time up this engine and the cool provision that Datsun's actually put in if your timing chain is slightly stretched. Obviously we're installing a brand new kit, so we'll have to set it to 1. So you'll see where we set it, but if you do have a stretch, there's a cool little provision. I'll explain it when we actually get to it. So the first thing that we will be installing is this brand new cam sprocket. Now the cam sprocket's got a couple of numbers on it. It's got 1, 2 and 3. Then behind it, on this cam plate here, there's a little marking. Now in the book, I'll try to throw up some photos of what it says, but there's 1, 2 and 3 for a reason. If your timing chain is stretched, this mark here at the back will be slightly before. This is on like a full running engine, by the way. The mark here will line up with this just before this line, and that will mean, oh, it's time to swap it to 2. And then obviously 2 has its own little line, and that little line should ideally mark up with that little pulley, and you'll see, oh, okay, my chain's okay. Then obviously if it stretches a bit more, it will rotate this way, and this line will be slightly out of whack with this, so it'll be there. Then you can be like, okay, it's time to put it on 3. And then 3, of course, has its own little line, and once 3's out, you're cooked because your chain's too stretched. Now my chain, I didn't actually check where it was, but I just got the whole new kit. We're going to be lining it up with 1, and when we slide our number 1 onto the cam here, you can see, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it too well. I'll try to get the camera to focus. Our little line is slightly off there, so we actually just need to rotate the cam. So this is a whole new chain and cam sprocket, so we actually just need to line it up ourselves, set it to 1, make sure that line's in line. So I'm going to quickly do that now, and then once it's in line, we can get the chain on and mark our number 1 link here, which is shown with the number 1, so our coloured link will be on here. And then our second coloured link will be on that one there with the little divot in. Hopefully that kind of made sense. I'm just going to get the cam lined up and I'll slide the chain over. Then we can install our tensioner and the guides. Okay, so I'm on the phone camera. I don't know if you can see down there, but obviously you've got a number one, you've got the line, and then you've got our little line in there, and that's all lined up. Yeah, it's a tiny bit off. Ideally I want it in the middle, but I don't get loads of like control with the ratchet I was just using. You can just send me use. So we're gonna leave it there, and then obviously we'll just rotate it as need be once we get the chain on. I based my timing marks on this, which came with my timing chain kit, and it said 42 links. That's fucking wrong, unless I just counted the links wrong. But yeah, it's like 20 in between. So from there, I just lined it up my old timing chain. So there's 1, then there's 20, and then there's another link. So remarked it, let's get it on the car. That is the timing chain installed. So we got the number 1 here, the line marked up with the cam. We got the number 1 position on the cam sprocket with the coloured link. Then under here, you've got another coloured link which is going to the other mark on the actual crank. Now what we're going to do, install the guide which will go here, then the tensioner, and then the other guide. And yeah, there it all is. Timing chain fully installed, 2 timing guides, the tensioner itself, that was a pain to get in. I've also torqued up the cam sprocket bolt. I did that off camera. I think that's like 108 foot-pounds, 90 something to 108 foot-pounds. I also rotated the engine fully, give it like 1 full rotation, everything lined back up. The one up here, the line on the actual cam gear, the one here with this little 1 dot, and also the coloured link with this dot on the crank pulley. So I'm extremely happy that it is all in time. Now we can put the timing cover on, the oil sprayer bar, the sump, the actual balancer itself, the water pump and the oil pump. Obviously I have an oil filter to put on, the mechanical fuel pump and all that stuff, but I think I'm going to do that when it's in the engine bay. I just want to get this built up fully, take it over there because it's a pain to drag an engine across the gravel. Also, I bought some cool parts. Now, I don't know if you guys know Silver Project. We have a bunch of their parts on the Datsun. I bought solid engine mounts. Look how beautiful these are. They aren't like metal solid. Well, they might be actually. Oh yeah, they are. Oh no, they have a little bushing in. It's like a super hard poly bush. So yeah, these, I didn't need them. I'm not making enough power to make them needed. But you know what? Solid engine mounts in the Datsun, and they also look amazing. Look at that, they are beautiful. So yeah, let's just get this engine fully built up, then we can drop it back in the car. And with that, that is the timing cover fully on. Now we're gonna get the balancer on and then the oil pump, but this is kind of the vibe that I was going for. I kind of just wanted this entire bottom part of the engine to be black, hence painted the timing cover. The only bits that will be shiny will be this water pump, this here, just on the timing gauge, and the oil pump here. And I think everything else will be black. Obviously the top part will be silver as well, but I think it looks way better just having that timing cover black. Okay, so the sump is on. Now let's do a little walk around. Oh my god, it looks beautiful, mate. It does just look good, doesn't it? Nice, beautiful L24 straight six. Okay, the final thing we need to do is under here, the oil pump. I've given mine a quick clean and I'm going to prime it, but let's go through what we actually need to do, because I've mentioned a few times that the oil pump goes all the way through to the distributor. So if you don't put this in properly, your engine's going to be completely out of time, or your ignition at least. Okay, so I'm doing this from behind the camera. Obviously here's your oil pump, and your oil pump has a little arrow on it. Here it is, the arrow here. Now the actual shaft itself, that has a little dot on it. Now I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it is, oh, there. Let's see if I can get that to focus. See that tiny little dot right there? So that needs to be lined up with the arrow, like so. Okay, now keep it in this position. You're going to prime your oil pump by putting oil in it, and then we're going to go down there. Okay, so once you've got it in, I'm going to slide this all the way in. You want to twist it a tiny bit forward, not far at all. That'll engage the gear just like that, and then you're in. And there's a real good way to check that this is alright. Just throw one bolt in there for now. Okay, so how do we know that it is all correct? So over here, obviously this is where your distributor attaches to, and everything is set to cylinder number 1 being top dead center. So we want it facing number 1, or point number 1 in the distributor. Now how do we check that? So the way we check that is, you want the bigger side of the circle on the right, which it is. Here's the smaller side, because this is actually offset. So here's the smaller side, and the main thing is obviously where your point is facing. So imagine the distributor's in here. The thing that the point points to, I don't know how to explain it, the arm, would be facing this way. How do we know that? Ignore this, it's super dirty. I need to clean it up before we put the dizzy on. If you get a screwdriver, put it from this side of the bolt hole to that side, it lines up. So essentially that means everything is all in time with top dead center cylinder number 1. So when we put the dizzy in and start it up the first time, it'll all just be in time. And for a very long time, that is the whole engine fully rebuilt. Obviously I've got an oil filter, I've got the fan clutch, spark plugs, intake, exhaust manifold, but obviously we're going to do that all in the car. This is at a point where it's ready now to get taken over there, to get dropped into the car, which I'm going to do shortly. But it will be another episode because this one's been long enough. If you have any questions about the L24, leave them in the comment and I can hopefully answer them. I'm not saying I would be able to because I have no clue what I'm doing, but I appreciate you guys watching. It's actually been real fun for me. It's just my favourite engine to work on. Maybe the rotary will be better when I start tearing that down. But yeah, stay tuned for the rotary Miata, stay tuned for the Datsun engine going back in, and a whole bunch of other content. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching. If you want to like, comment or subscribe, that really helps out the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.